You know, there aren't many vehicles that can claim to be a true American legend. But from the battlefields of World War II all the way to our driveways today, one name stands out. It's become this global symbol of freedom, of rugged, go-anywhere capability. So, let's get into the incredible story of the Jeep.
I mean, this quote from historian Doug Stewart just nails it, doesn't it? The original Jeep wasn't just a machine, it was an attitude. It was the physical embodiment of this idea that, yeah, we can do this. No obstacle is too big, no terrain is too tough. And that whole spirit, it was born out of a massive crisis.
The story really kicks off with the looming threat of the Second World War. The US Army knew it needed a totally new kind of vehicle, something light, something tough, and something that could cross pretty much any terrain imaginable. But the request they put out came with a deadline that everyone thought was completely, utterly impossible.
49 days. That's it. The Army gave 135 companies just 49 days to design and deliver a working prototype. Can you even imagine? Most companies just looked at that and said, no way. It was a monumental task, designed to push engineering and manufacturing to its absolute limit.
Now, what's so fascinating is that the Jeep wasn't the brainchild of some single giant company. It was a small, struggling automaker called American Vantam that first stepped up to the plate. And they actually did it. They delivered a prototype in that 49-day window. But the Army was worried, could this little company actually build enough of them? So they shared Bantham's designs with the big guys, Willys-Overland and Ford, and basically told them to make it even better. So the final Jeep that went to war was this incredible melting pot of American innovation. Willys-Overland brought its super powerful Go Devil engine. That was the heart of the beast. Ford contributed its iconic and, more importantly, easy-to-make stamped grille. Yep, the face of the Jeep we all know today. And a company called Spicer provided the rugged four-wheel drive system. It was literally the best of all worlds, all bolted together into one unstoppable package. And the sheer scale of production was just staggering. Between the two of them, Willys-Overland and Ford cranked out about 640,000 Jeeps during the war. To put that in perspective, that was about 18% of all wheeled military vehicles the US built. The Jeep was absolutely everywhere. So what happens when the war ends? This incredible vehicle, forged in the heat of conflict, suddenly needs a new purpose. Its greatest test was over. But you know what? Its story was really just beginning.
It's the perfect question, really, because just like a returning soldier, the Jeep had proven its courage, its toughness, and now it had to find its place in civilian life. How could this military workhorse possibly adapt to a world at peace?
You really can't overstate how important this thing was. The famous war correspondent Ernie Pyle called it one of the most vital pieces of equipment out there. It wasn't just a truck to these soldiers, it was a lifeline. It did everything from scouting missions to acting as a field ambulance. And that legendary reputation, well, it followed the Jeep home.
And Willys-Overland, they didn't waste a single second. Immediately after the war, I'm talking 1945, they launched the CJ2A, the very first civilian Jeep. They pitched it to farmers and construction workers as this tireless workhorse. And that was just the start. It was quickly followed by the first all-steel station wagon and a super rugged pickup truck, really establishing the brand's DNA of pure versatility.
And the Jeep's influence exploded far beyond America. In the Philippines, old military Jeeps were famously turned into these colorful buses called jeepneys. Its design directly inspired the British to create the Land Rover. Heck, the word Jeep became a catch-all term for any tough off-road vehicle. And its design was so perfect, so functional, it was even recognized as a piece of art by the Museum of Modern Art.
But okay, the road ahead wasn't always so smooth. For a long time, the brand entered this period of crazy corporate instability. It just got passed from one owner to the next in what felt like a never-ending cycle of buyouts and mergers.
I mean, just look at this chain of ownership. It's almost dizzying. It goes from Willys-Overland to Kaiser, then to American Motors, which eventually gets bought by Chrysler. Then you have the whole Daimler-Chrysler merger, and today it's part of this huge global conglomerate called Stellantis. Honestly, it's kind of a miracle the brand kept its identity through all of that.
And this right here gets to the absolute core of Jeep's resilience. While the parent companies were often struggling, the Jeep itself just stayed incredibly valuable. And you have to ask why? Because people weren't just buying a car. They were buying an idea. They were buying a piece of authentic American history that screamed freedom and capability. That powerful identity, forged in war, is what protected it through decades of chaos in the boardroom.
And the sales figures? Well, they tell the whole story.
Even in our modern era, the growth has been explosive. You go from 500,000 vehicles sold in 2008, and sales nearly triple to 1.4 million by 2016. The brand wasn't just surviving the chaos, it was seriously thriving.
So how did Jeep manage to recenter itself and become the commercial powerhouse it is today? Well, it did it by going back to its roots, by focusing on the one model that perfectly embodies its entire history and its promise of adventure.
At the center of it all, you have the Wrangler. It's the direct descendant of that original military vehicle, and it's the model that defines what a modern Jeep truly is.
This comparison just says it all, right? The Wrangler is the keeper of the flame. It is the purest expression of what Jeep is all about. The open top, the solid axles, that unmistakable look, it's a direct link right back to the 1941 Willys MB. It is, without a doubt, the soul of the company.
And its legendary capability isn't just for looks, it is pure, hardcore engineering. Those solid axles give it incredible strength and flex on rough terrain. Its compact size lets it squeeze down tight trails where bigger trucks just can't go. Literally everything about it is designed with one single purpose in mind: get over the obstacle.
So when you put it all together, the history, the insane brand loyalty, the raw capability, you start to realize that Jeep is so much more than just another car brand.
Analysts have actually estimated the standalone value of the Jeep brand to be as high as $33.5 billion. I mean, that is a staggering number. It means that, at times, the brand itself has been worth more than its entire parent company. It just shows you how powerful that 7-slot grille has truly become.
The brand's journey is just this epic story of transformation, from a literal tool of war to a global symbol of adventure. It represents resilience, both on the trail and in the boardroom, and it embodies the spirit of freedom that just connects with millions of people all over the world.
And I think that's what makes it so unique, right? When you get behind the wheel of a Jeep, you're not just driving a vehicle. You're connecting with this incredible legacy of ingenuity and can-do determination that stretches back over 80 years.